Hello, I am Mary Mazur. This is Change Your Funk to Fun. This episode is Stop Wasting Your Energy Fighting Your Obstacles. And you get to have some expert guidance here. Yes. This is the next universal law that we are going to be diving into deeply here today, which is the law of polarity, or you could also call it the law of opposites. In this universe that we live in, and especially here on Earth, we definitely have a lot of opposites here. That is for sure. And if you can just imagine, we're going to invite you just to imagine that because we talked about the universal laws, and the first one that we shared was the law of oneness, we are going to be connecting the universal laws today with the law of polarity. So let's connect the law of polarity with the law of oneness. Just imagine oneness consciousness, that consciousness creator that created all, including you and me, that we agreed to be a part of. Yes, we did. Who also created this beautiful universe with complete unconditional love, which is complete openness and acceptance and inclusion of all. So, with that, is that it accepts all, which means from the darkest to the lightest of the light. Okay. And that's where polarity then gets to be created, that there are opposites. Just like in our lives, we have up and down, right? In and out, right? We have hot and cold. We have yin and yang. There's many opposites. Even a battery has a positive end and a negative end. And our bodies, our cells, and even in the deepest parts of our cells, our electrons going into the atoms and the electrons, we have positive charges and negative charges. And actually, these actually help us with like bringing in things into the cells or moving things out of the cells, is actually an ability to actually have structure and have flow and have things move and actually bring in the harmony, bring in at the highest level in time, because we create time here, that in the experiences that we have that then end up becoming time, that everything actually does turn out good, where things do go back into a homeostasis, back to a balance, back to a flow again, in time. And then the time, we do have to caveat here is with eternity. So time can be very broad and very expansive, and then here on earth we have a quite a bit of a limited amount of time. Each of us have our time stamps for how long we're here, right? So with your timestamp on here, let yourself evaluate your life right now. And that's one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself. That's one of the biggest ways to change any funk to fun, which means you get to use the key within your own self is to activate your own personal power, and that you can actually transform any perception that you have about anything, meaning that you can view something at a new way at any moment. That you get to be real with yourself, be honest with yourself. That's actually a super huge one to do. And we definitely invite you, if you can begin to just open up some time for yourself. So if you're actually taking the time to listen to this today, so yay, you are. That's awesome. You're doing that. Yes. Then also by the end of this talk, commit to yourself. Say, you know what? I am going to edge out, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. And then in time, it can become 20 or 30, but begin with 10 minutes a day. Even just say, I promise myself 10 minutes a day. You can actually put it in your phone too, if you want, and put that in as a calendar, and then let yourself become accountable to say, I am going to close my eyes, connect within myself, connect right into your heart center. You're in your power center. You have these beautiful these things, centers in your body. But just imagine you can connect into your heart center. And then you check in with yourself. Oh, okay. How's my life going? How are things going for me here? How am I feeling? What thoughts am I having? What's happening? What challenges am I having? What obstacles am I having? Where is there a lot of separation, polarity, things that are just irking you, frustrating you, challenging you, blocking you? Let yourself get real. Be real. because they actually are here for you, believe it or not. Just imagine if they could be here for you. This is one of the laws of the universal laws of perpetual transformation of energy. Everything is just energy. So even an obstacle, even the opposites, even this polarity world, which we can call the third dimensional experience that we were born into in this lifetime, is just in that just means that, right, that we have a height, right, and a width, and I forgot the third one. We're the third. There's three parts with our three dimensions here, right? Isn't it? It's height, it's width, it's depth, something like that. We agreed to live in the third dimension, and what that means is that each one of us agreed to forget who we truly are, because actually you're a spiritual being that came here to earth. Yes, you are. Every single one of us are. The 8 billion humans here are actually divine light beings, from all walks of life, from all periods, and so much stuff, that agreed to come, especially this lifetime. This lifetime is so potent. This is the most exciting time, because we are here to actually transmute the polarity. Yes, there is a law of polarity, which means that there are opposites, which you can also let yourself realize that means that we believe, or we create a meaning that there's a separation, that this is different from this. Light is different than dark, right? Yeah, the masculine energy and feminine energy, they are definitely different, and we'll be talking about that in another episode about the genders. But we do get to have differences. This is called diversity. We get to have a variety of things here. The key comes in is that any one of us at any time can have a new perception of this. You get to have a new viewpoint and a new reality of what all that is, what that means for you, what you can do with it, and how you can use it. And it's actually all here for us to ascend, which means to dissolve that veil of separation that we all agree to forget who we are, and believe we came in as these newborn babies. Every single one of us came in as a brand new baby here. Yes, we did. And we got our parents' beliefs. We got the culture and society that we were raised into's beliefs, the ancestral parts of that. And then also there's parallel lifetimes and past lifetimes that you actually brought in right on with you too, right in your subconscious mind. That it's subconscious, or we're not even conscious of it. Yeah. Exactly. And we actually, all of us, I have not met anybody in this lifetime yet that has had no challenges or no issues, no adversities. No, not at all. Everybody has had them. Yes, they have. So, all right, you are part of humanity, and you might have some adversities in your life right now, including myself. I do too. I have challenges will continue to happen even as we ascend. The gift is that we actually get to, one, remember who we are. So you get to remember who you are whenever you're ready for that. And you can just admit it and just say, wow, could I just imagine that I am actually a spiritual being having a human experience here? Wow. Like I'm actually am way deeply connected with divinity, which is the field of energy of all knowingness that is here to support you completely and 100% with all of these challenges of this experience, this physical experience that we have here in the third dimension. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because the more that we can do this, the more that we can actually activate this, remember this, and then bring that into your life, that's actually how things are going to be able to change. That is really how each one of us will be able to handle our situations in a new way than we ever have before. All right. So most of us, if I can offer, got very, what would be the right word? Birth. We got very imprinted. We got very imprinted with the patriarchal way, which means the masculine energy really over protected our feminine parts within us, whether we are feminine, whether we are a woman or a man here. We both have masculine, feminine parts. And that's actually a polarity part. There's a masculine and a feminine part. So just imagine for thousands of years here, especially on Earth, the patriarch has been running the show. Would you agree with that, right? The men, one, have had a lot more privileges. It just literally in less than 100 years ago, women weren't even allowed to vote in America. Now, how interesting is that, right? They didn't even have the voice to even have a say in the important decisions and meaning. Wow. Whew. And then, thank goodness that has changed, but still, we are in this lifetime to have the feminine come in and equalize with the masculine. And then, believe it or not, the feminine get to leave for the next 1,000 years of the age of Aquarius. Yay, it's her turn now. And this is actually whether you're a man or a woman, you can actually have your feminine lead a little more. And the divine masculine is meant to, yes, know who he is, be strong, be protective and loving, and, share his gifts with the world, do his work, help with the gift of the masculine is that focus and taking action, actually really being connected with the physical parts of the world, which is necessary because we are physical beings here. Yes. And then the feminine part of us is the part of us that's very intuitive, is connected with our divinity, that is very creative, that is very interconnected, loves groups, loves the collaboration, loves the nurturing, nourishing pieces. We are meant to be both here. Yes. So with the law of polarity, the gift is that we can end the fighting. And that's the biggest point, is that we get free will choice of how we want to respond or react, be with anything. So something that's different than what you like is going to bring up pieces within you that will actually trigger, even at the chemical level within you, your cortisol, and in ways even in your body that's going to automatically have you ready to fight, flight, or freeze or fawn. And this is actually here for survival and to protect us. Many of us were born at a time, especially in the 20th century, where we were raised in a lot of fear and didn't even realize it. Like a lot of our parents, many of us might have been spanked. Being spanked is a big one because, it was the fear of your parents in here. And that's another law of polarity expressing itself, because here is someone, your parents who love you, who birthed you, who's raising you, that they say they love you and they want to care for you, take care of you. But yet, right, when you made a mistake or you did something that was inappropriate, that they actually literally hit you and it hurt for one and cried for another. And then depending on how you even responded with all of that, many of us create beliefs within ourselves, actually all of us do, about that. And for a majority of us, it's wow, we think there's something wrong with us, or I did something wrong, or I'm just not good enough. And then our self-worth gets plummeted. That happened for a majority of us. The gift here is that is an aspect of polarity, because any of those concepts, any of those consciousnesses, ideas, ways of being is one way. And there is when there is one way, there's always a second way. You always have two options, yes, of polarity. There's a positive and a negative, right? We have the feminine and the masculine, or the yin and the yang, up and down. And the two, they're meant to actually work together. And that's the gift of dissolving the fighting that we get to do for ourselves. So in order to do that, each one of us have to admit, hey, we might have some internal conflicts happening within our own selves. Anything happening outside your life is just a reflection of what's going on within yourself. That's one of the universal laws of the correspondence. So you go, oh, what? I'm actually creating this stuff. Yeah, you might be. And that's okay. I am too. And I certainly did. I created all kinds of interesting things. Yeah. And because we get free will choice, many of us will stay in that loop of survival, of fighting, of reacting, where we're gonna fight this. We got to end this. So in order to end it, we have to fight it. Well, the gift is you actually can end it in a new way. You can end it by connecting into your love, into your spirit, and allowing yourself to view the situation in a new way. And you can ask a simple question like, what could this be here for me for? Is it serving in any way? What could it possibly be serving me for? And one of those could be for you to stand up for yourself, which is actually perfect. Sometimes when you have really harsh things that happen with you, it actually can be a catalyst for your life. In fact, I just connected with somebody new that I'm amazed. His story, was already touching my heart. And someone that's going through a really tough time, with something that's very meaningful for what they're going through, it can be really, really, really hard, and scary. And it can affect us greatly. So if anything's happening to you in any way like that, One, admit it that it's actually happening, because the opposite way, the polarity way, would be instead of admitting it, we ignore it, deny it, throw it under the rug, act like it's not there. I used to do that because I learned it from my mom. And I'm so grateful that I now have said, oh, you know what? When anything's happened, I'm going to let myself admit it. I have to admit it, because when you admit it, you can actually do something about it. This is the first step. Woo, to admit what's actually going on, to identify it, bring it up. You can write it down. You can have a good friend to talk to about it. Be real. Okay. The second thing to do is to let yourself feel it. And that's also a big block that many people have. Many people don't want to feel things. And with the law of polarity, okay, you can do that because you get free will choice. You can not feel anything, go numb, get distracted, get very busy working. Get into your logical mind part of you and disconnect any of your feelings that you have. But it's still going to be there and it ain't going away. Not at all. In fact, it will get louder and scary and harsher, because it's your divine part of you is going to do whatever it needs to do to help assist you in waking up. Okay. Yeah. Whew. So if you can, when you are ready, admit it. And the gift to even different energy fields help us greatly here is if you get angry or pissed off or say, no, this has to stop, something has to change, that's actually perfect, because it's going to let you make a new change, even though it might not feel very good, right? So that's the one we're saying, is getting into that feeling of that. That's going to be actually where the sweet spot is. It's one of the biggest things you can do, because we are here with the law of polarity is to dissolve the fighting and then integrate your unity within you, so you can be at peace now instead of war. Woo, stop wasting energy fighting your obstacles and open up to some expert guidance here. Yes. So, if we can admit that there is a polarity happening, that's one way of you can say that. Like there's something that's frustrating you, challenging you, a conflict happening, something happened that you don't like happening or you don't want happening in your life. This could be in your health, your relationships, finances, purpose, careers. It can be in any category. So pick the biggest category. So that's one of the biggest things you can do, is let yourself narrow in and focus in. So what would be the biggest one that's getting your biggest attention? Allow yourself some time to open up. Start with 10 minutes, move into like 30 minutes of time. Give yourself a nice journal to do too. Put on some soft music with yourself too. And then, if you can actually admit it, you can even close your eyes, connect in, bring up that situation for what it is, and admit, yeah, you can agree. Yeah, I definitely don't like it, or this is wrong, or this is not right, or pieces, whatever that is. Oof, there's stuff right there, right? And then let yourself feel it. If you can actually allow yourself to connect into the energy and motion related to that, the emotion connected to that. So is there frustration there? Is there anger? Is there worry, fears, guilt, shame, or even apathy, where you're not even disconnecting your energies, or just a needy desire where you feel like, oh, I'm too afraid, I don't have anything, lack of something. Identify what it is, the first emotion that comes up. Okay. And then when you have that, now there's something you can do with it. That's the law of perpetual transformation of energy. You can actually alchemize that energy. There's different ways that you can do that, and you'll find your way. That's the key. I know what I love to use is Psych K. So Psych K helps you with identifying these pieces, right? And then once you do, and you can learn this for yourself, come into an online workshop that I teach, and then eventually an in-person workshop or a private one-on-one session to receive the help, that you get to actually connect in, and you can transform your perception of that situation within minutes. And what that does for you in a physiological way is you actually are gonna, instead of your masculine and feminine energies being in opposites or not working together, they're actually going to work together. And we call it a whole brain state. You return back to your harmony or your unity. You get to work together, all parts of you. This activates your full response potential to that situation, where you actually will be able to dissolve and transmute that, if it's anger or sadness or shame, guilt, fears, whatever energy that is, alchematizing it up to peace and non-attachment, where you return back to your centeredness, back to your alignment again. You literally get to do this Psyche's been around for over 36 years, and it's for those that are ready to use this tool. It's one of the most effective, fast, long-lasting tools that there are on this planet. Dr. Bruce Lipton loves it. He's one of the best proponents of it, which we're grateful because it helped him transform his life. So if you're having an issue that's frustrating you, altering you, exactly, and you do know have the tool of Psyche to use, obviously do that. If you don't have Psyche yet, there are other things you can use with breath work, meditation, connecting in, even going into a salt bath. I have a friend, actually, I'm going this afternoon into the salt baths. I still love doing that too. You can do multiple things where you actually get to connect in and allow yourself to receive all the supports and goodness that you can. Yeah, True Rest in Farmington Hills, Michigan is the one I'm going to. Yay! But yeah, see what you would love for that. So the gift is and it's super helpful for you to be able to wake up and recognize that you are the co-creator of your life and that you can change things. Those are huge pieces to activate, and that you're worthy of it. And that's actually the gift of when you actually do make the changes within yourself using a tool like Psyche, like it did for myself and many that I serve. Then wow, then actually it does get easier because then you have a foundation, you have a platform that then you can begin to help yourself with these polarities, because there are a lot of opposites in this world. It's even with the ascension happening and us connecting with our divinity and we're clearing out a lot of stuff, we are still going to experience stuff because we're on Earth in the third dimension, right when it's transforming from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, which is like, woo, massive, massive, massive changing times. And our survival parts of us don't like change. Like our ego parts of us, our individual separate self parts of us are like, no, we're not going to change. Nope, I'm going to go hide, or I'm going to go fight, or freeze. Yeah, or run, even those things for survival. Well, that's even with the law of polarity, that's actually an aspect of you that you can actually connect your love, your spirit, your true essence with. Allow the feminine part to come in of that nurturing and nourishing, and the masculine part to come in. So let the two work together in harmony. Yes. So that with the polarity now, like a string that can be in threes and it wraps so beautifully, right? Or this goes in here, that it can work so much better and it's so much stronger when we actually work together, work in unity. So the opposites actually can unite and work together. Or we can call it coming to your centeredness, coming into the center. So with that yin yang circle, we have the dark side and the light side right in the center point. That is your 0 point within you. That's the ability that all of us are being called to actually connect in with your knowingness, connect in with what feels right for you, your oneness connection with divinity. Letting your breath help you breathe in the life force energy, releasing everything that's meant to be moved out, and you identifying, okay, what do I want? So that's the third piece. First is to admit what's going on. The second is to let yourself feel it. The third is asking yourself, well, what do I want instead of that? Like, I don't like how that feels. And you're willing to admit, yeah, I'm angry. I want to change it. And there might be parts you want to control it, because we want to control things here, because it's certainly better if I could just make it happen or control it. But then there's things that are out of your control. And then we can feel hopeless and helpless and very vulnerable. These are the opposites. Do you feel hopeless and helpless and vulnerable? And then the opposite, you like to have ultimate control or rigidity. Well, how about we meet in the middle? Admitting it, letting yourself feel, letting yourself move those emotions, connect back into your centeredness, your peace within you. Yeah. And let yourself dream again. Let yourself connect into the most precious, the most potent, powerful part within you, which is your ability to dream, your ability to imagine in a positive way. And one issue with the law of polarity is because things that we don't like or things that are happening, we can get very skewed in what we don't want. And so we're so focused on what we don't want that we don't even spend much time on what we really do want, or how we'd like to have it in the opposite way, the opposite of that polarity. Because if that's showing up, that crappy, junky, blah, blah, blah issues going on, then there also is the opposite. There also is the beautifulness of the exact opposite. So for, like, example, health. Health is a big one. When your health goes to crap, everything goes to crap, and you will stop. It doesn't matter how amazing you are and beautiful, like Steve Jobs, right? Ooh, he got taken out with one of his health issues that he had. We can. I mean, this is super huge and real. We do have all the timestamps of when we're supposed to be here and when we do leave the planet. If you are having a health crisis right now, give yourself some time to slow down, to connect in, to get assistance. And that's another piece, is actually receiving help, especially in holistic ways, alternative ways than just the traditional ways. And you can use the traditional and bring in the alternative healthy ways too. Yes. So I have a dear friend who's become a dear friend. She was a client of mine, and then now we've become super close. Riley, we'll call her Riley, that yes, she had a major health issue. So in fact, cancer showed up in her life. It started with breast cancer 3 times in her life. It was in her 30s, in her early 60s, and then 3 years later, it just came back, with a vengeance. That's for sure. And even the second time around, we actually did use Psyche, and she did transform things, and she used the gifts of what Joe Dispenza teaches with meditation, and she literally healed her own body, literally through shifting, using the principles and the universal law principles and her own self-healing dynamics. The last time around here, it's showing up. Just a lot of it is to help herself clear and finish this off, right? And what she had to admit, I'm glad that she did, and she just chose to, which was the best ever, is when it came back again, it's because she realized that when she did heal her whole body, she was vibrating, law of vibration, in the joy, in the love. So all her cells opened up again and returned back to health again. But then she verted back down into just some deep repressed anger that she had with experiences she's had in her life of what's happened. The gift is that actually did come up again for her to address and to shift and do again. And she's healing mightily than ever before. And her spirit's intention is that, yes, she stays healthy now. And now she's really experiencing the opposites, because she had such pain and such suffering, especially in her gut and bowels. Whew, and then there was like 3 times that she thought she was going to be transmuting out of here. And then it's nice when she can have people to call. Like, she was able to call call me, and we can connect with her spirit. And she was able to let her know she's just dying to her old self, that those old self parts of her are dying, and her body is renewing and healing. These are the pieces that we all are meant to remember again, that we naturally are able to self-heal, that we can do this, and we are able to do this. Are you willing to do it? So these are 3 caveats you want to ask yourself. Do you want to get healthy again? That's a big question to ask you. What do you want to step? Do you really, really want to live here? And with Psyche, I have helped many that at the subconscious level, parts of them don't want to be here. And that may be one of the gateways why something like cancer or another health issue shows up. And you can revert it. You can shift it. You can come back to your balance and harmony and figure out, like, why do you want to live here? What would make it matter so it can be meaningful for you, easier, fun, flowing, instead of maybe it does feel like a big struggle or really hard. And like, it seems like the best answer is, let's just leave this place, right? My sister is 10 years older than me. She committed suicide when she was 27. She jumped off a bridge and ended her life. And that's extreme. And there's many people doing that, actually. And we don't have to do that. She actually taught me to just hang in there. This will pass. And I don't quit on things. I actually love to solve things instead, I love living here as a human being, which took a long time to actually cultivate that too. Because parts of me probably didn't enjoy this a whole lot either on some aspects. And the gift with when you get to use the law of polarity, when you get to end, then stop the fighting within your own self, and instead say, okay, how about we just pause and stop this war here within, and then start becoming curious. Start, ooh, if I could, how would I love it to be? And let that just start pouring out of you. What gets you excited? What gets you joyful? What could you even imagine? Miracles happen. They're meant to be a natural part of our lives. And we can really change aspects that we could never have imagined before. And when you hear success stories, it's a beautiful book called Radical Remission. Kelly Turner is the author of that. She interviewed over 1,000 people that were diagnosed with 4th stage cancer, and they all healed. whether they did medical, traditional medicine stuff, or they didn't at all, just went home and waited to die, and then their bodies whoop rebirthed again, and they got the message, and they realized whoa what this was all about. And she identified nine factors that all of them did, which was pretty amazing. 7 of them is what we used with Psyche. And then I'm also creating some new material that's coming by the end of January called Your Sacred Way, because that's also a more feminine approach of what you can do to shift yourself. That, yes, you get to, and then the other 2 is supplements, diet changes, which are important too. What nutrients are you putting in yourself to help yourself? Yeah, that we literally can heal ourselves. And maybe you just need to hear that today. When you actually say, yeah, you actually can. You really can. And yes, it is going to be a journey of discovering what's important for you to do to help yourself. And there may be many pieces, Psyche is just one of them. It's a very potent one, which is beautiful. And then when you are interested in learning your sacred way, that's a whole nother piece to fully activate and connect into your divinity, to help guide you as a spiritual being here. We're all being called for this, and you especially, yeah, because you're vital, you're important, you're necessary here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And you're meant to discover, what are your gifts. What are your talents and gifts? What are you meant to be sharing with the world? Yeah. And then can you let yourself enjoy all the little moments? With doing that, then you're bringing these polarities or these opposites back to actually work together again. Yeah. So if you have a white sheet of paper, if you actually put black lines on it to draw something, yeah, you can actually see the figure that you're drawing. The black and the white are meant to work together. If you had a white pen on white paper, you wouldn't even see what you're drawing, right? You get that? Which means polarities are meant to work together. And that's a whole new way of viewing things. So, and even when it's super harsh, when it's really, really, really harsh, it's sometimes very difficult to even imagine that you can actually ask yourself, how can we turn this for good? How can we bring these together? And you may just have to reach out and ask for help, and that's okay too, because that's actually the polarity too of giving and receiving. If you're one that gives all the time, overgives, and then isn't receiving enough, life's going to show you that, so that you can revert back to actually start receiving again. Many people have gotten sick with that. So then the sickness offers them a time of rest and renewal, and that other people are taking care of them now. The gift is to let yourself reboot yourself back to your health, and then have the balance, have that where you get to give and receive. Those 2 polarities, and the sweet spot is that amazing flow. And we all are being called to flow, to vibrate in the higher dimensions, to connect and to remember who we are, so we can really enjoy our lives here, and actually have it be absolutely amazing, because it literally is. It really, life is amazing. Are you able to view that? If you aren't, that's just a polarity that you can open yourself up to let yourself connect into that part and bring it in for you. Open up to some expert guidance here. Yes, 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 yes. So with that, we look at the law of polarity, and you're going to open up to allow yourself to come back to the balance, the centeredness of polarity. So instead of one extreme and the other extreme being such an extreme, which then you can have extreme experiences, which can be really rough, especially if it's really harsh, of suffering and pain, difficulty, harshness, scary, not feeling safe, to the highest level of peace, joy, bliss, amazingness, right? Allow yourself to come right into that sweet spot, right in the center of it. And yes, at any time you can feel that amazing joy and peace and love. And you could those higher aspects of you are going to uplift those denser parts within us, and then help assist us with clearing those out, transmuting that energy. So we have much less of the harshness or the struggles or the very difficult or painful experiences, and that we, as co-creators of our life, get to actually fully experience this heaven on earth, this new earth that we are being called to create here in the 5th dimension. That's the dimension of unity consciousness. Yes, where we actually dissolve the separation. Instead of opposites, we just get varieties. You get a nice blend of a variety of things. And isn't that a neat, huh? If you can just imagine instead of judging, condoning, hating, that's a very separate way of being. When you can allow yourself to become neutralized with anything that's happening, yes, definitely have yourself feel whatever is happening, because we are meant to feel everything. And once you can let yourself, with your courage and willingness, step into just neutrality of becoming a witness, and then ask yourself, what can I use this for? So if something hard's happening or difficult, that you get to utilize it. You get to learn and grow and experience and connect into your power and realize, wow, I really can be in a new way. I can see something in a new way that I couldn't before, expand in a new way, and let yourself feel better. Let yourself become healthy, very healthy, in your physical way, your mental way, your emotional way, in your energetic and spiritual ways. Yeah. And then that's going to overflow into your relationships, right? And then to abundance, so that money's a currency of love, so that all of this can balance, that we get to know that we're deeply loved and abundant, know that we're always safe and secure. And let your life experience show this for you. So if there's a gap in this right now, okay, that's just the law of polarity, that there, you might not be experiencing that in that beautiful way just yet. Then it is recommended to go learn some powerful tools, or helpful, really effective tools that help assist you with that, because we don't know what we don't know. And if we don't have a creative ability way to make those changes, then it can be pretty take a long time, or be very difficult. Everything's moving and changing so fast now. So what a gift that we actually have a variety of ways that we can help ourselves, and you get to pick it and design it for yourself. The key here too is just begin. And so we're going to remind you here is, first admit, if there is any kind of polarity happening in your life right now, which means you're either frustrated, challenged by something, feel difficult, and feeling, angry, sad, shame or guilt, any of those denser energies, admit it and just say, okay, all right, yep, you're here. Let yourself feel it. You can get support, like having a psyche session can greatly help assist you, or having a dear friend, a close friend that can hold sacred space for you. And if you may need to talk it out, or cry, or move that energy, get into motions, things like that. And then you can actually shift that perception of that, and come into, how do you want it to be instead of that, because you actually have the answer within you. You do. That's the polarity. You have the opposite than what you're really experiencing now. There is a future timeline. You can call it future timeline. You have a future part of yourself, another dimensional part of yourself, that actually is experiencing the exact opposite of what you are right now. Pretty wild, right? Just imagine if that's happening, and then you can bring in that timeline for yourself. And a big one here is to access and connect into your self-love within yourself. So when you do want to have that new change, there's going to be some steps that you'll need to take in order to be able to actually live that. One is forgiving. You're forgiving, you're opening your heart to connect again, to remember who you are, letting things go, releasing things, changing, being in a new way. You might have to make some little changes and big changes in your life. Let yourself listen to the truth within you. You have the answers within you and what feels right for you, and cultivate that, strengthen that like a muscle, so that you can get very comfortable trusting and knowing that whatever's coming in for you is here for you. Let yourself connect into the knowingness, the truth, and dissolve the fears. If you're trying to do something because you're afraid, stop yourself. Stop it. Stop the fighting and stop the fears. Identify it. You definitely want to identify it, because it's showing up. It's just an aspect that your subconscious mind maybe actually has within yourself. You can actually shift that and transmute that. The perpetual transformation of energy, universal law, can help assist you with that. Yes, yes, yes. And these laws are meant to work together. We have the law of relativity. You can actually see this from a whole new perspective, in a new way that you couldn't before. It's super huge. And utilize them, so that you actually can get very potent magnetism with the positive and negative of battery. Whoop, gets really potent there, right? So things that you want to bring together, or coalesce, or come together, you can actually turn it for positive when you connect with the love within you. the connection with your divinity, your true essence of who you are. And whew, transmute that fear, transmute any of fear's cousins too. Absolutely, absolutely. Whew. So for many of us, relationships can be a big thing because we actually have a relationship with everything. We actually do because we're meant to be. We are a being that is meant to be connecting and relating with ourselves and with others. The huge one is to go within yourself, connect within your own self, bring all aspects of your own self in that polarity land that you might have pushed away or exiled away or tucked away. I know I certainly did, just for the childhood wounds that I experienced. It was out of survival. And with the gift of receiving a gift like Psyche or like your sacred way, you get to bring those parts back to you again, back to your wholeness again. So instead of them being, oh, I hate that part of me, or we're not going to pull that, we're going to act like that part isn't there. Ooh, guess what? It's an aspect of you, because in the law of oneness, everything, all and all is included. Yes, and there is boundaries. You definitely got to have boundaries within your own self and with others, because there is a caveat of do no harm. That's for sure. Please, you don't want to hurt yourself or hurt anybody else. So do it so that it can benefit in some way. It can turn for good in some way. But yes, let yourself reconnect back to your true essence within you, the love within you, bringing all those pieces back within yourself. Anytime a polarity comes up, anytime a dense energy or emotion that you don't like, it shows up, it's actually here for you, so you can alchemize it, you can transmute it, and you can connect even stronger into your true essence of who you are. That's the gift of that, bringing that back into the balance, into the centeredness again. Yeah, so you get to dissolve the separation, so that polarity actually gets to transmute up into unity. That's what we all are being called to do, utilizing the polarity experience to allow ourselves to wake up to know who we really are, and we get free will choice. So choose the light, choose love, choose doing good for yourself and others, and expansion, and then begin to let go of anything you're doing. If you're being critical with yourself or others, or judgmental or harsh or controlling, those are big red flags. That's the polarity part, the separation part. And you can admit it, and you can let yourself feel whatever you need to feel, and then shift into how you'd rather be. Instead of that, bring it back into connecting back to your heart, connect with your divine part of you, and allow the love, the true unconditional love within you, and then allow that, open that window of curiosity of, well, how can I have it become in a better way, a new way. And you may come up with things like, I need to love myself. I need to forgive myself. Those are beautiful pieces that you can change at the subconscious level of the mind, which will then change your outside world. And that's one of the biggest gifts Psyche offers for you, and your sacred way offers for you, to really anchor in your divine self in just absolutely magical ways. So we have beautiful things here for you, and you can, like I say, also use breath work, sound bowl healings, and float spas. There's multiple things in meditations. So you find that what works for you, just trust and know you can do it. You can, and then begin to start making those changes. Begin to be in a new way. That's the gift of all of this, because you can. Because you can. Stop wasting your time fighting your opposites. Open up to expert guidance here. Yes, and it's your decision to do that, to just say, you know what, I got to end this war within myself, this fighting of these opposites. Could there really be a new way? And there actually is, and we're all being invited into it. It's your connection to your knowingness, the truth of who you are, the love of who you are. Instead of fighting, allow yourself to love yourself, allow yourself to bring the two opposites, where you have what you don't like, let yourself admit it, feel it, and then shift into what you do want instead of that, the exact opposite. So that's the law of opposites. The negative one is going to help you get to the positive one. Yes, or that contracted one is going to help assist you into the expanded one. And the more expanded you can get, the more aware you can be of those contracted pieces within us, or that harshness, or the suffering, the painful, judgmental, critical parts. And that then you get to keep allowing your love, your grace, your nurturing, nourishing parts, and your very protective parts, and your action pieces to go and help yourself, assist yourself to transmute these things, to release these things, to let them go, and to fully embody your true love in light of who you are. We are all being called for this. And it just means, hey, would you like to have a great life? Would you like to live fully, love fully, be your true love here? Because you can, because you are. You actually are love, divine love that gets to do this. And it's because you can. So if you would love some assistance with that, because I know, heck, I had no idea either. And I was grateful how Psyche dropped into my life in a very surprising way. And it might be just by this conversation here too. You can check my link below for have a taste of Psyche. I am offering 30 minutes of Zoom session, 90% savings, where you, for very little amount, get to go make some changes within yourself, some key changes that you can begin to get unstuck. You can begin to let things go. You can begin to start bringing those polarities back together to your unity again. So you can feel better. You can enjoy your life better. You can actually be like, whoa, wake up and remember and realize how powerful you are. Yes, 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 you get to do that. And you can also go to my website, igniteandhealyourlife.com. And explore that, because igniteandhealyourlife.com is here for you to ignite your true essence of who you are, your true divinity of who you are, and actually heal those parts that you get. I am offering some online workshops, one the end of January and also the end of February. And then I'll be starting up on in-person workshops too. So begin with the taste of Psyche. That's one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself. And then go learn this, use this for yourself, because it's time. 2025 is going to be a fantastic year. The ones that say yes, woo, we are taking off. We are taking off, and actually within your own self, activating that back to that unity within you, dissolving any fighting or any wars, and returning to your love and your peace within you, because you can, because you are the I am here. And we're here to help remind you of that. It's been beautiful connecting with you today, and I look forward to meeting you when you do reach out to me. Have a beautiful day.